not to escape the suffering, because that is very negative, and that is just misleading. If the purpose is to escape suffering, then when heavenly environment occurs, we will be attracted to it and not to Sukhavati. As we cultivate merits and our merits grow and life becomes more pleasant, we will forget about the vow. We say that we have achieved a purpose because the purpose is to be alleviated from suffering. I hope you take this into consideration seriously, because it's a mistake that we should avoid, is to go beyond this world because we want to avoid suffering. It should not be the primary purpose. It is true that we don't want to encounter suffering, but that is not the primary purpose. The primary purpose to be in the Western Pure Land is to become bodhisattvas, to achieve enlightenment so that we can help all sentient beings. That is how we resonate with the bodhisattvas there. That's how we are preparing our minds mentally, spiritually, to be in the Western Pure Land. Otherwise, we'll be forcing ourselves. We heard about the advertisement of Sukhavati at the Western Pure Land, and we bought into the advertisement, but we don't know what's behind it. We only see the results. We don't see the purpose of being there. The purpose of being in Sukhavati is not to escape suffering, but to be aspired to become bodhisattvas and to become like those in the Western Pure Land, to achieve enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. That is how we have this joyful faith. 至心信要, 激荡的鸟. And in order to have this joyful faith and the migration to Western Pure Land, we need to live our current lives as if we are in the Western Pure Land. The life that we're living here should not be so different from the life that we're going to have. We should try to match it as much as possible to eliminate discrepancy. Otherwise, we will not get used to it. We will want to seek the distraction, the worldly excitement. When we make a vow to be in Sukhavati, behind that vow should be the vow to make this world a better place, a happier place with our presence. When we leave this world should be a better place than the one that we entered. So Buddha field is a field of positive thought, a field of high resolve, a field of virtuous application, and a field of 6 perfections, 六度波罗蜜六度巴拉玛, and a field of 4 immeasurables, 四无量心六无lượng tâm. The 4 immeasurables are friendliness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, and a field of 10 precepts. This is a very positive environment. And if we want to be there, we have to be naturally positive. And that is the whole purpose of sitting in meditation, learning the Dharma. When we sit in meditation, we are cultivating positivity. When we learn the Dharma, we are reinforcing that positivity. Bodhisattvas build a Buddha field to the extent that they develop themselves spiritually, to the extent that they practice the Dhamma for the benefit of all beings. And they purify the Buddha field to the extent that they purify their own minds. Buddha land is the ideal environment for leading of spiritual life. Right? We want to be in Sukhavati because it is a more positive environment than here. But we should not make too sharp of a distinction between here and Sukhavati. Our mind will not change abruptly. It takes time to make that transition. So therefore, we should live this life as if we were already in Sukhavati. We should live a life that brings happiness to those around us, and to try our best to make this world a better place than the one that we enter. The Buddha land is built by united spiritual efforts. So it's not just the Buddha creating this Buddha land and people get a free ride. but they want to be there. They aspire to be bodhisattvas. So they work jointly with other bodhisattvas to create the Buddha land. And they build it because if they want to be bodhisattvas at all, they have no choice. Right? In other words, if we care about a spiritual community, we come here, we put in our best efforts to make it a beautiful place. If that is our aspiration, then when we come here, we have no choice but to be gravitated towards making our best efforts. The spiritual development of one of them involves the spiritual development of all. When we are cultivating or we're developing ourselves individually, we are developing ourselves for all the others within the spiritual community. And all the others in spiritual community are developing for us. For example, last night when we had our Q&A, right, one person asking questions, but the entire spiritual community was involved in answering the question. It was a beautiful setting. One person wanting to overcome doubt. The entire community offer their different perspectives to help provide a complete picture. We can come up with our own perspective. It may not be complete, but when we put all the pieces together, it becomes a complete puzzle. When the spiritual community was trying to answer the question for one person, but the fact that the person asked the question was for all the community because everybody benefited from the different perspectives in answering the question to help clarify. So the bodhisattvas build the Buddha land with their own lives and by means of their individual practice of the Dhamma within a context of spiritual fellowship. So spiritual community is spiritual friendship. When we help somebody, we're helping ourselves. When we are helping somebody to overcome the difficulties, we are not only empowering them, but we are empowering ourselves too. We feel great in the opportunity to help and in our ability to help. Amitabha created Sukhavati with us in mind. So when we have joyful faith and we have this vow, it is only natural that we should be born there. Does it make sense? It's not about escaping this world to avoid suffering, but to be aspired to become bodhisattvas. That is how we can maintain our momentum. Year after year of practice, if we want to maintain the momentum and not lose faith and not give up, then we should have this aspiration, this burning desire, and to have this joyful faith, to maintain that positivity in our hearts to become bodhisattvas.